We live again, man. Hey, everybody. I'm Adrian with my co-host, Vess. What's been going on, man?
Not much. Little wet. A little too wet here for me. Ain't
Uh,
cutting into my flying too much. I'm getting some in, though.
Same here. It finally dried up a little bit. Sun came out today. Wanted to get my I-1 out, but I'm in the middle of packing, getting ready to move into the new TopekaDrone.com headquarters, a.k.a. Agent Rebels Photography and Video. you know. So I've been packing and doing all that, but we had some little technical difficulties starting up the first show, so we kind of improvising here, people. So just follow along with us. It's gonna get better with time. I'm moving into my own space. I'm gonna dedicate a room strictly for recording podcasts and videos because that's just what I do. But we getting together today to talk about the what's been raging on the internet, and that's the new M6, man. What do you think about that? I call it M6. I know it's the M600, but everything's
a beast.
Beast. Yeah, everything's an acronym, man. So
yeah,
I just have to go with it, man. But me being an S900 owner, I seen the M6, and my thought is I probably won't upgrade. But, as the conversations we had before, I'll talk to you about DJI needed to come out with something where you could use Lightbridge 2 with any Zim use gimbal and put it on an S900 or an S1000. And from the looks of it, the new A3 can be purchased with the S1000 Plus, but you could also put it on an S900. So, they kind of answered what I've been looking for. And if everything works out, that'll probably be my next and last upgrade because, I've got an I-1, you know what I mean? And I love flying it, but my S900 is like not my favorite, but next to my favorite, you know what I mean? I know you've been talking about getting one. What do you think about it?
Man, after talking with you and seeing what I've been saying on it, you can almost make out saving yourself a few bucks. Go ahead and find you a decently used, or even probably a new S900, and buy the little builder kit that comes with it, gimbal, A3, all the goodies. And from what we found out, you said something about making a plate for the X5, X5R. You could almost probably save you $1,000 from what it looks like.
Yeah, did you see the picture I sent you the other day that it had the M6 with the X5 mounted to it? And it's kind of odd because the X5 is kind of extended out in front of the mounting plate area on the M6, which I thought was kind of weird, but you can look. I sent it to you to show you that the wires that plug into the adapter plate for the I-1 is the same wires going into the adapter plate for the X5 on the M6. So I'm hoping, which I think it will, from what I've read, I'll be able to upgrade to an A3 with a Lightbridge, still use my Futaba to fly with, use the Lightbridge to operate the X5. And I've just got it all around. If I want to stay in the air 35 minutes, I can. If I want to, buy more packs that are cheaper than DJI intelligent batteries, I can. That's the one thing that gets me is I'm just tired of buying batteries for $169 that don't really give me no juice.
Now, here's my thing. Would you not like DJI to put let me back up. You said something in the point of DJI making the M600 adaptable to outside batteries.
To be honest with you, with that type of bird, I wouldn't want to adapt anything to it. It looks too clean to be going adding stuff. That's why I was telling you about the whole the mod that they've done for the Inspire 1. To me, the bird is too clean to be having something hanging off of it. That's something I wouldn't do. Now, maybe somebody else, but you just be better off, like we discussed. You can go get an S900 right now for about $13. And then I looked at the Zenmuse gimbal for the GH4 and found one on eBay for $675. So, you know, once you throw $13.99 plus the A3 in there, which is about $2,000, I mean, you saving a lot of money, because just for the M6, I believe it's 46 for, I think it's 45.99, and that's not counting the Ronin MX, which, like I said to you before, if I didn't own an S900 or a Ronin and I wanted a modular, versatile kit that will fly any camera that I put on it, I would probably buy an M6. The only problem you may have, which I don't know how they're going to figure this out, is how are you going to control the camera from the ground? Because the manufacturer of the camera has to allow you through the software to be able to change the aperture, the ISO, and any of the other settings on the camera while you're in the air. And nobody's doing that yet. There's no relationship between DJI and Sony or any of them. So that's going to be a tough one there. So
even what you saying that, you feel DJI should have left Inspire 1, just make some improvements on the Inspire instead, or gone in the direction of just full out mods for the S900, S1000?
You know, if you look, and from what I see is they just keep building on their product. So what they done is they've just incorporated the technology from the Inspire 1 with the smart batteries, really the Matrice 100, and they incorporated that in with the M6. The only thing the M6 is missing is collision avoidance. And in my opinion, if you're going to fly a bird that size, you don't need collision avoidance. You just better know how to fly. There's too much money in the air to be dependent on some software to tell you when you get too close to a tree. That's just my opinion. But some people will probably jump all over that. I honestly think that the people who are going to go out and buy this bird are going to be people who got the money to go do it and just want to blow some money, because if you got an S900 and you can do this upgrade, you're saving tons of money. I mean, tons of money, you know, and you can switch back and forth. You know, if you get a couple of used gimbals, you can switch back and forth from Sony A7S to a GH4, just depending on what you want. So
outside of heavy lifting, bird's pretty much useless. I mean, you can, I wouldn't say useless.
Right.
Like you said, for those with the coin to spin on it.
Right. I don't think it's really useless. I mean, it's definitely a great product. I mean, they're always going to have great products. I just think that if you've got an S900 and you got an Inspire with an X5 camera, then do the A3 and the Lightbridge upgrade, and you set. You set, because you're going to have to fly that M6 with the dual operator anyway. I'm going to tell you now, flying the S900 without somebody running the camera is not impossible, but that's too much machine to be taking your eye off the machine and trying to look at the monitor to frame a shot. It's just, you can't do that. And if you got the Inspire with the X5, I mean, you can go either way. I mean, if you want to get 35 minutes of flight with the S900, you throw a couple of 22K packs on it in series, because you can fly 2 of them if you want, and then throw the X5 on there, and you could be up in the air broadcasting live. I mean, I can get with a 22K pack now on my S9, I can get about 18 minutes. So if I throw 2 of them on there, I'll probably get around 30 minutes of flight time, somewhere in there, 28, somewhere in there. So that's still good flight time.
Even given the weight of the extra battery. That's real good.
Oh, yeah, because the X5 camera ain't really that heavy. I mean, I know for a fact that my Zenmuse for my Sony Nex 7 is heavier than the X5. And even with that, I'm usually flying either 15K packs or 10Ks. And I'm usually getting, for every 1,000 milliamps, I'm getting about a minute. That'd be somewhere in there. is what it's about averaging out to.
That's real efficient. That is real efficient.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, if I put a 10K on there, I'm getting probably 8 minutes of flight time. I mean, if I push it, I could probably get 9 out of it. You know, and I'm flying with, you know, everything. So, you know, you can get flight time out of the S9, but again, they've made it modular now, which is great. I mean, that's what they did with the Inspire. They made it a modular bird. That's when, like, when we was talking about it after you crashed your P2, and I told you I wasn't going to get one, and then I changed my mind because I seen that they was going for a modular system. So
right.
now you can put more cameras to it, or another camera. If they come out with a whole new camera that's got more megapixels with a bigger sensor, but yet you get less flight time, you still winning because you got a better sensor on the camera. I mean, you know, your average shots anyway, you know, you might be in the air 10, 15 minutes. You know, if you're really doing, you know, movies, you know, big budget movies, but that's when you're going to fly a red anyway. And then you're going to use an S9 or an M6, but
need that heavy lift.
Yeah, you need that heavy lift, man. But, you know, right now I'm just going to sit back and watch and see what happens. If I can get into the A3 and Lightbridge 2 for a reasonable price on my S900, I'm probably going to dive right in, man. Definitely. Dive right in.
A hint to the future. You pretty much hit this one coin on with the DJI doing something, you know, to upgrade the big boys. The S900, S1000. You hit that one. You predicted that. I want to say probably 3 or 4 months ago. You talked about that.
Yeah, and you know what? And what's crazy is I posted in one of the forums on Facebook about they needed to come out with a adapter plate for the X5 for the S900, and that's pretty much what they did. I ain't had no inside track. I just kind of figured that was the road they was going down, you know. And it's like I mentioned to you before. I wish somebody, a third party, would come up with a gimbal that's plug and play that I can mount to an S900. I can put any camera on it up to a 5D Mark III. It already has built-in HDMI downlink for 720. It comes with a remote and it comes with an external feed. So I don't really have to use a tablet per se. I can just plug HDMI in and have a monitor and then control the gimbal with the remote. If somebody could create something like that, they'll kill the market. But it's got to be between 1K and 1.5K, 1,500. That's what I would spend on something like that, because that would be so universal where you could just throw anything in it, bolt it up, plug it into an XT60 plug or a Dean's connector, and you ready to go. There ain't nothing you got to do, because you don't really, like with the M6, in my opinion, you don't need GPS data. You don't need none of that data to fly that camera. They're just giving that as a ploy, or, you know, as a feature. You don't really need that. Who cares? You've been flying without it. Why do you need it now?
Right.
So
now, what do you think? Some future things with DJI. Me personally, old school remote, like your Fatabas and stuff that doesn't have self-centering. Me and you touched on that. I think that's something else we need to dig into and find out some more information on. Is can you integrate, you know, an old school remote for the and you got the older crowd that's getting into this thing now. You know, it ain't just as young guys or as middle-aged guys.
Well, see, and that's another problem with the M6, because you stuck with whatever buttons that DJI gives you. You only got so many channels. So if you wanted to add anything extra to it, you can't do it. I mean, like on mine, you know, my intentions are to add strobe lights on the nose, the two motor arms on the front. So when I'm flying at night, I know no matter which way I turn, the lights that are blinking, that's the front of the craft. And it'll all be controlled by my second remote or my first remote. So those things you can't do. That's the one thing that this whole DJI designing their own remote is they made their stuff proprietary in that factor. That because I haven't seen anybody who modded like a P3 and put in a Futaba radio. I mean, you can't do it just because you need the Go app. So you pretty much stuck with what they got. Now, I say that, but then now we can use buttons built into the app. So, 6 in one hand, half a dozen another. I don't know. I prefer a toggle switch or, something of that nature, or a dial versus pushing buttons on the app. And then when the app crashed, then what? I mean, so I hope that they'll allow you to be able to add your own radio, but I don't think they're gonna go that route.
Yeah, it kind of kills their own money a little bit, especially if you got remotes laying around or you got multiple units.
That's the reason why I won't get rid of one of the reasons why I won't get rid of the S900, because I got a $500 radio. Yeah. I mean, and it'll fly anything from a NASA V2, all the way down A2 Wukong. I mean, I could connect to it and fly it. I mean, heck, the A2 is still a good flight controller for me anyway.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see what happens, man. I'll tell you what, one prediction I got, and we discussed this, I'll make it real quick. I don't know what they're going to name the next Inspire, but I think that Inspire will definitely have collision avoidance. Will probably be in the front and the back. They'll probably give us a better battery on that one. They'll probably give us dual compass and dual IMUs if they can fit that in that bird, because they selling that whole accuracy in the air, which the P4 is so stable. I mean, it is super stable. Now, if they probably going to take the internal workings out of the P4 and put it in the Inspire. The next Inspire is probably what they're going to do, because I think that's how they beta test, in my opinion, their products. They put it in the Phantoms, and then if people like it, then they'll just throw a little more goodies in when you upgrade to the Inspire. I mean, really, the goodies we got with the Inspire was the camera could turn all the way around. It's pretty much the same sensor that they had in the Phantom 3. You know what I mean?
Yep. So, I'll go with you on that one. Definitely.
So what is your thoughts on the Inspire, the next one? What do you think they're gonna have with it?
Faster.
Yeah.
Definitely. She's got to be a size queen. She's gonna have to. I'm in my humble opinion, gonna be a little bit bigger. You got the M6, so you got some room to grow on the Inspire. Now, what does that do for way bigger ECUs, way bigger motors? Does that put you in the market to be able to use a 22K, or what's the next step with that? I think DJI needs to integrate a decent crossover battery for big units.
Hey, good luck with that. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna be honest with you. DJI is selling them batteries like Apple sells
iPhones.
The cords. No, cords.
Cords, yeah.
Now granted, me, I hang on to mine for a while, but
my household the same. My wife is burnt through them cords. I mean, what did you do? Eat it?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I have the original cords. Matter of fact, my son has my old Samsung Tab 10, and I just found the original cord looking for an Ethernet cord to plug in tonight.
Right. You know what? They selling them batteries. That's another thing we didn't really even touch on. I mean, you're gonna turn around and spend, I believe, between 65 and 7 for the MX and the M6, and then you got to turn around and spend probably another G on batteries. I don't want to do that. I mean, the amount of batteries that I could buy for my S900 at $1,000 would be unreal. And, with the decent charger, I could be out in the field, filling up 2K 10Ks or 22K packs in 15, 20 minutes. I mean, and just round tripping flights, up, down, up, down, up, down. I mean, all day long. So I I won't buy into it just because of the battery system. I'm personally tired of the battery system, and I know they're wired in parallel, so you're probably going to still end up with some battery errors. But man, could you think deep cycling 6 batteries? You really going to need.
Flight.
You really going to need. You really going to need 18 batteries.
Yeah, per flight.
Just to stay in the air if you're going to be flying something big, because you just there's just no way, man. You're gonna need a whole suitcase for batteries. So I'm definitely not in for it, man.
And you just look at the weight classes, especially the way they're classifying things now with the FAA. They haven't got it in final stitch yet,
right?
But that 4.4 seems to be a lingering number. And with those batteries alone, you're over 6 pounds. Just the batteries.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree, man. So,
and that directly affects your 333 or 107. What are they going to do with? I mean, it's cascades into a lot.
And you know what? You just never know. And before we close the show up, because since you brought up, the 333 and and all that, I talked to one of the owners at Wolf Camera here, and you know where it is, but he's a pilot, and he's got his exemption. And I was talking to him today, and they run Wolf's, which Wolf's a camera shop. They sell all electronics as far as cameras, TVs. They just got the DJI products in. But we were talking about that 333, and to him being a pilot, it was easy for him. But even he said that you really don't need that 333 until you get in trouble. The best thing you could have is the insurance.
Wow.
Is the insurance. In reality, I mean, when you really think about it, now I understand that, the FAA rules the skies, but until they come out with a comprehensive plan and, how they're going to rule this airspace up to 400 feet, I think insurance is the best thing that you can have, on top of knowing how to fly without collision avoidance.
Sir.
I mean, that's the thing, man. And, that's the one thing that I promote through topekadrone.com is flying safe. I don't care who you are, learn how to fly safe. I practice all the time, man. If I can find a space to go practice, which I do, I got plenty of places to fly around here, man, I just go do it.
And you got to clarify that flying off a GPS or flight assist.
Yes. You got to take it out of
manual mode.
Man, you got to put it in the manual sometimes. This is no different than when you're using a camera. Don't always use the auto settings. Get up in the air and play around with it a little bit. Change your aperture, change your shutter, and do it and do several different takes, That way you can go home and you can compare. You can be like, okay, well, I had the shutter set at 100 here, okay, and it looks a little stiletto, but when I slowed it down to like 50, then it smoothed out and it gave me a little motion blur. I mean, you got to play around with it and learn the art of it. That's the basis of this show. And the reason why we started it was because we're going to get into the art of things. Today's show was really about the M600 because it's a hot topic and we've discussed it, off air, but we wanted to share it with everybody. But this show is really going to be about, the behind the scenes of the shot, or the video reel, or, whatever it may be. Our intentions is to get plenty of people on here to talk about, their photography. I mean, you finally joined Instagram and you're seeing how much, or not how much, but you're seeing the imagery that's coming out of drone pilots. I mean, I went on your page the other day, man, and I'm like, shoot, you got 200 and something followers already. And I'm like, you just got on there like a week ago. And it took me a minute to get that many, you know what I mean? And I ain't got a lot. I'm like at 759 or something like that. Mm-hmm. But, it took a while. And I believe the ones that follow me are true followers. I got them organically because I post good content. That's what I try to do. I try to share what I know or what I've learned. So
exactly. Thanks for the love. Keep it coming. I mean, and inbox us, DM. I mean, we look for y'all's input. You know, it's fun to have conversation. Like,
Right.
we taught each other something. He taught me the the hashtag thing. I'm old school.
Right.
It's the pound symbol.
Right.
I'm learning y'all. And then also my friend introduced. You get a chance to catch an episode yet? A new TV show? Well, it ain't new to you. It ain't new to me. It's new to you.
Yeah. I ain't watched it yet, man. But I'm
on TV though.
Right. And I'm gonna get to it, man. But like you said, you know, continue to listen to our show. My next goal is to get this on SoundCloud. I'm not really ready for iTunes yet. I think we need to get a couple in the can, maybe about 50, and get quite a few followers and viewers, and get some input from the people. Like I said, this show is going to be strictly, you know, really about looking at the creative side of drones, whether it be photography or videography, and we'll sprinkle in a little tech, you know, and you know, things of that nature. But that's the road we're going on. So, where can they find you at, man?
You find me at Vest Cooks at Instagram. Vest on Facebook. A little bit everywhere. I do a little bit of everything. Sorry for the dead air, folks. We're working, man. This is late night. You know, we have to wait till the families are in bed, but we're going to get better for you.
Yeah. And you can find me at Mr. A Rebels on Instagram, or you can find me on Facebook at Topeka Drone. Leave me a message, you know, inbox me, whatever, if you got any suggestions or if you want to get on the show. We're not really doing this to get sponsors or to make money. You know, we just trying to share what we love to do. That's fly, take good images, shoot good video. So until next time, everybody, fly safe, and we'll see you next week. We out.
Bye.